Hi, welcome to Life Expressions. I'm your host, Chari Hinede Elon. This podcast is about discovering our personal growth, our journey to success, and having meaningful conversations with my guests. And today, my guest is no less than the co-founder of Vision to Reality Foundation, Winnie Hsu. Winnie has become my friend as I have met her through Peter's Elevate Your Public Speaking coaching or Elevate Your Public Speaking Skills coaching package. And she's one admirable lady. And I would want to take this opportunity to share her story with you because she has reached success. One of the most common questions that I have heard from my friends and my acquaintances is that, how do you achieve success? And the next thing is, how do you make a positive impact on the life of others? I would like to believe that Winnie is an example of a successful person who came to Canada 30 years ago and now making a positive influence on the lives of many. Welcome to Life Expressions. Winnie, hi.
Hi, Terry. Nice to see you again. And especially on the podcast. I don't really know this format. And so hope you lead me.
Of course. You are one eloquent speaker, and I'm pretty sure that you would do a great job sharing your story. Let us start with your story on how you migrated to Canada.
I came here actually more than 30 years ago as an international student from mainland China. So like many of the students here today, I came here with nothing and know nobody and very limited English at the time. But it's really hard in the beginning. And just like you move to any new country, new city, and even just within your own country, if you move to a different city, it takes time for you to actually get to know that place. Because my dad before always encouraged me, said, okay, you should go out to take a look. The world is big, right? Don't only stay in one city and try to go out to see the world, to learn everything. And I believe that's one of the seed he planted in my head when I was in high school. So after university, I said, I need to go out to take a look. So that's basically the reason why I, come to Canada.
Do you remember the first day that you arrived in Canada?
Of course, yeah, just like yesterday. I believe so. Most of us still remember Vancouver International Airport. I arrived here because I don't know nobody. In Beijing, there's one of my friends actually know a girl came here about 2 years earlier than me. So he contacted that girl and just say, oh, do you mind to come to airport to pick up, Winnie, help her to settle, right? She didn't know nobody. So luckily that girl eventually showed up after I waited in the airport for 2 hours. And she ran into the airport holding a sign, put my name there. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry. I have to work in a restaurant and I only have finished my lunch shift before I can come to pick you up. So she take me to one of the basement suites and she rented it for me for $300 a month. So that's basically how it's all started. But she's kind enough to give me a cup of a bag of groceries and just say, oh, this can last you a couple of days. At least you can survive. At the same time, she gave me 2 maps. One is the city map of Vancouver. Another one is a bus and transit map. And she'll show me, said, okay, if you wanted to go anywhere, at least you'll follow the map. She gave me a handful of quarters to say, oh, there's no phone here. You probably, if you wanted to find a job, make a call and go on the street, there's phone booths there. You can put the quarters in to make the phone calls. But at least she gave me some general ideas of how to start. I was fortunate to met this girl in Vancouver. It's not like myself has to find a place to stay. It's really a great start, a humble start.
Yeah. How much money did you have when you arrived in Canada? And you said you were an international student. How did you survive and how long was that?
I had $1,000 in my pocket because everybody probably already know, like 30 plus years ago, China's still quite poor at the time. And nobody really, get rich or have a lots of money. So the $1,000 is more like our whole family saved everything, give to me. So that's I thought it was a lot, and because in China you could live for a whole year with $1,000. But the first day I paid the $300 rent, I was completely shocked. I just feel there's no way, I cannot survive. The money is not going to last that long. So the second day I woke up, I just walked 2 hours to Chinatown looking for bought a Chinese newspaper, starting to flipping through and looking for jobs. Because at that time, there's no internet, no cell phones. People basically, all the job advertising is on the newspaper, there's an ad page. So I pull that paper and making phone calls, any babysittings or washing dishes or anything like that. I was like calling everywhere. I was lucky enough in 2, 3 days, I found that one household, they're actually looking for a babysitter and a housekeeper. During the summer, because they applied some nannies, but the nanny only can come probably around September or October. I came here in the spring. So I have a few months before the school start. I said, that's great. I can work in that house and then, they pay me $2 an hour. I'm still quite happy, right? Because they doesn't allow, I have food to eat, right? So you don't feel that you have anywhere you need to spend the money, which is a really good start. So I was taking care of 3 little girls and then learning all the household, basically learn everything.
Yeah. Did you learn English here in Canada already? You had very little English when you arrived. How did you become better at speaking English?
Learning English is one of my goals at the time, because that day after I bought the newspaper, came back to the basement suite, I was thinking, I said, how I'm going to survive here the next few years for studying, and also in the future, maybe possibly I can stay in Canada building a life here. So I was flipping through the newspaper, one of the article talking about a Canadian family, middle class Canadian family making around 50,000 a year as income. So I basically put down on my little book and just say my goal is to make 50,000 in 5 years. And another one, I realized that during the day I walk to Chinatown, I have to ask people for the directions, or I go to a store, I have to ask something, and I found my English was so poor. I couldn't understand what they're talking about. So I said, English is one of the tools. I really, really have to master it and to understand if I ever wanted to go into the mainstream in this country, and English is the number one tool, so I have to inquire. So that's the decision I made. I wrote down, I said, I have to learn English in 2 years, or learn how to speak English in 2 years. Even in my university, I learned English and grammars, whatever, I can read some, but not really conversations, just like very, very limited at the time.
Yeah. And
I was quite envy. You're from Philippines. You already know how to speak English.
It's our second language. Lucky us.
Yeah.
But I remember you shared a story with us when you worked in a restaurant and you chose to work in a English speaking restaurant or organization just so you could better learn and speak English.
Yeah, that's exactly it. When I made that decision, the first things I did, I found a little shoebox and put whatever my safe kept. Like I brought a couple books and magazines and also cassette tape for Chinese songs, right? I mean, the popular songs. And I really love. So I basically packed those one in that little box. I wrote a notes on the box. I said, in 2 years, I can open this box. So basically, I wanted to cut off everything, make me feel. So I have to read Chinese. I have to listen to Chinese. And also at the same time, I wanted to find all the jobs English speaking. because I feel as if I go there to work a job,
Yeah.
everybody around me speaking English are
Mhm.
definitely going to help me. If everybody all speaking Chinese, I will never learn English. So this is why I never really go to find a Chinese restaurant or find a place only, like the owners or the people working there only speak my own language, because I feel that eventually I can come back to work in those places if I choose to. But first of all, I have to learn English. So I found the restaurant job. I went to McDonald's. I work in white spots and also other English speaking type of environment.
How long was your studies?
I only study about a couple years, and so I took some night courses. And before I supposed to, go into the master degrees, but I just never done. And the only master degree I done was like 2 years ago, MBA online. So
MBA.
after 30 years, I fulfilled my original goal
Oh,
to
that's
do
good.
a master degree in Canada.
Yeah.
But I just never done that. I took some night courses and tried to study and try to at the same time also working, because surviving is number one at the
Yeah.
time. So it's quite difficult at the time for sure.
But now you have your own accounting firm. How did you get into that?
It's actually contributed back to my first mentor. And I ran into, basically, I took like 2, 3 jobs. Of course, all part-time, like 2, 3 jobs, and working every weekend hour if I'm not studying and working somewhere. So there's a job I got in a warehouse helping packing orders. So it's a Caucasian couple. They own a law firm in downtown Vancouver, but at the same time, on the side, they open an importing clothing company. So they import some shirts and pants from other country, and then to Canada, they do wholesaling. So they have a salesperson sold the shirt or clothes. They come back order. They say, okay, 10 dozen red small, 5 dozen, yellow, medium size and stuff like that on the order. So almost every either weekend or evenings, and they give to me, and I go to their warehouse to try to find the box with all red. Okay, I pull them out and take whatever the dozen, and so make sure those order for each store is ready for them to ship to the store or take to the store. So that's basically my job. I was doing that for a few hours each week, and this owner, Chris and Susan, they really take a liking of me. And they said, I didn't realize you can work so hard. You're climbing on the big boxes, you're moving those 30, 40 pounds of boxes, because they all stack together in a small warehouse. I have to physically moving it. It's quite difficult for a 5 feet, 100 pounds girl. So they said, oh, gosh, you work so hard, never heard you complain, and we like your attitude. Why don't later on you come to our office to learn how to do billings, how to do taking orders? I said, I have no idea how to do it. And so both of them, they were encouraging me. They said, no problem, you come in, we teach you. And that's how I started learning how to use the computer to do some billings, invoicing. And 2 of them not only teaching me that, they're actually invite me to their company, like law firms parties. They took me to a big like a yacht for Vancouver firework festival, because their company has the big party on the yacht and just like on the water, English Bay, to see the fireworks. I was so scared. I basically don't know what to wear, don't know how to talk to people. But Chris and Susan just told me, don't worry, we're there, we help you, we introduce you, don't even worry, you speak English really, in the elementary level. So they give me that kind of a confidence and ease, and also introduce me to the Western society and cultures. And in the weekend, they invite me to their house for barbecues. They took me to hiking in the North Shores. So those ones, all add together, from that particular sense. They don't have children, so they probably treat me almost like their own kids. after a couple of years, they retired actually, and they moved back to Ontario where they grew up. Before they leave, I asked them, I said, how can I ever repay you guys? And what they told me, just say, Winnie, becoming successful, falling in love with Canada. And eventually you're going to achieve all your dreams. You're going to contribute to this country. And I was so touched at the time. And
Wow.
I feel that's what they get their satisfaction in their heart. And they invested in me. So this is also one of the reasons why today I started this Vision to Reality Foundation to offer all the free services to the newcomers. They wanted to start a business because I truly wanted to pay back. I feel there's many people helped me in the beginning.
Yeah.
So this is also one of the reasons, why we wanted to do this. I wanted to use their example. Whatever they give to me, invested in me, and I'm hoping to invest it in somebody else. But in their office, those few hours each week to learning how to do billing is the seed for me to learn how to open a bookkeeping accounting business. I graduated from a science degree, it has nothing to do with accounting. But that's basically is the seed for them to plant it in my heart at the time.
You learned more and you practiced more and you became better at what you do. And now you provide opportunities to a lot of accounting professionals as well by providing them jobs.
So now my accounting company, we hire other people. We have around 15 staff and serving almost 200 local business clients at this time.
But those the couple that helped you, the couple that inspired you and have been very kind to you, gave you the opportunity to pay it forward. Now you're doing it. Now you're helping a lot of people, especially immigrants or who want to become entrepreneurs through Vision to Reality Foundation. Tell us more about that.
So this foundation actually only launched about a year and a half ago. And I had this dream for a few years, wanted to do something to leave a legacy. But I just never really get a chance to do. I was thinking maybe after I retired, I can start one. But during the time I'm taking online MBA course during the COVID, because I don't have to drive to client's office, I don't have to have lots of outside meetings. I said, I have all this time on my hand. I should do my MBA now. So that's how I basically get into this in the United States online MBA course. And so during the study, there's one course called New Venture and Entrepreneurship. So in MBA, they always have one of that course. So when I was taking that course, the course assignment is you need to write a business plan for a new business. I'm thinking now is the time. I could just write a business plan for my vision. So this is how I start. I wrote the business plan with no names. I put a fake name there. But the concept is there. The whole research I done during all my assignment time. So after the course completed, and I used that as a framework and got another 3 co-founders to work with me together. And we basically launched this foundation. It's a nonprofit organization. And now we offer 4 different programs totally free, and especially our online platform to have a member, like free members, people or local business owner, like newcomers and international student, or somebody have a dream and want to start a company in Canada, and many business professionals like myself also in our online business community. And just today we passed the 450 members in our community, only over a year, a little bit. I was quite, surprised, and at the same time also quite, how to say that, I realized there's really a need for the service we try to provide. So quite happy for the result.
Yes. What are the success stories that you can share with us that you have helped establish through Vision to Reality Foundation? How have you specifically helped members of VTRF?
We have many volunteers actually in our foundation because we are new and there's not much support, financially support from different places. Of course, people don't even know who we are. How can they donate money for you, right? And the same for the government bodies. So they don't even know what you could do, and nobody is going to give us a grant or helping us. But we have a lot of wonderful volunteers because people passionate to help others. And many are volunteers, they're international student or young student in business school.
Yeah.
And so through working with our organization, they basically just had a training ground, almost like their own camp.
Yeah.
Because number one, we don't have people to, in different position to work. So all our leaders, we basically just say, hey, this is the concept. This is the direction we wanted to go. You're young, you're a marketing student, you're a project management student, or if you have a communication, sales experience, come on, just come here, help us develop it. Help us, like moving forward, help us develop a program, like a online program, or help us develop a mentorship program. So all of those actually is those volunteer, each of them, they put in their research time, their team, and all they work together, almost like they do a startup company.
That's great.
Within our organization. So I see them change in a year. I see the business knowledge they gain. And that part is really, really, heartwarming. I can feel those confidence in their heart. At the same time, also they're making connections with local business owner or business professional. Just today, I introduced two of our Idea Lab winner. In this past May, we hosted our first called Idea Lab contest in Vision to Reality Foundation. We have 5 judges and they go through the competition, people doing the presentation online like this.
Yeah.
And after they pitch their business ideas, and then we poke holes, asking questions, and eventually they have all the scorecard of different judge, and we come out the 3 winners.
Yes.
So these 3 winners win a little bit of money from us, but that's not most important. So today I just introduced 2 of the winners to a venture capital company. And they're basically incubators. They can help those new ideas.
Yes.
So they're quite excited to make that connection with those kind of company. And we also introduce other funding places for them, and they can get loans or maybe get some investment in the beginning. And those, I think, is the value we actually offer to those people. And of course, we have each month, we have a 1-hour workshop online, totally free, and another 1 hour called storytelling. So similar like the podcast like this. And so we host one local business owner or some business professionals. They just share their story. They said how I started. I moved to this country 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Now, I own my company, and doesn't matter you're blue collar or white collar. And we have all kinds of business owners in our community.
That's
and
wonderful.
so in that way, they can share all their different kind of challenges, stories, which is really, really interesting. For myself, I love to host that kind of events.
Yes. Winnie, for you, what are if there are 2 or 3 values that are very important for you to live by to be successful in life, what are those?
I think number one, because I have 2 life models, and I basically wrote in the blogs and putting my posts in different places. The number one is no regret in your life, and try to live a life with no regret, which is difficult because we all have regret. But it's the things is that for me, the translation for this no regret is more like if you wanted to do something, do it. Don't try to find excuses. Say, oh, I have to wait until this time before I can do that. And if you really, really want to do something, you just do it, right? If you did wrong to somebody, you just go there to say, I'm sorry, right? I mean, if you really wanted to visiting certain places, and you try to save the money and go there, and before anything happened to you, if you wanted to have a family, and have a family, right? And don't thinking, oh, I have to get my house paid before I can have a baby, or I have to get my whatever finished before I can get married. I mean, so just whatever you in your heart design, and try to live a life without regret to moving forward. So that's basically my personal model. Since I was like a teenager, I had this idea, always thinking this way and live this way.
Yeah.
So make me happy. And the number two is I love to have my life have a purpose, like mean something. So basically, how that able to achieve that particular goal is to positively impact the people come to my life path. Because in our whole life, we probably only meet around 1,000 people. Like in our phone, if you check your contact list, you probably have a few hundred there. And how many of them you actually had a close relationship? I mean, not many, right? We maybe have one time we meet somebody, maybe had one coffee with somebody. But even like that, the 1,000 people or the 100 people in your phone contact is by faith. You met them. Because there's billions of people in the world. You only can meet these few hundred or 1,000. Why don't treat them nice? Why don't leave a positive impact for those people when they walk away from you? Even they only have 2 months to know you, they move somewhere else, or maybe you have 5 years of friendship, and then your life going to different directions. Doesn't really matter, but it is the time you are with that person. You said something, you did something, or you shared something, and then that person remember you as a positive force. So that's what I feel is make me happy.
Yeah.
So this is every single day, even treat my clients, or my staff, or my friend, or my family. I constantly using this as one of the, how to say, measurement for my own.
Yeah.
Not for anybody else, just for myself. So this is more like the two things I use for my own model.
Yeah.
And the number three is many public speaking I've done for newcomers. I just say use the bus analogy. That's the
Us.
analogy I use so many times. I just say your life, you come to a bus depot and you have to get on a bus to go somewhere. And the bus, they go to west, east, south, north, right? Southwest, southeast, everywhere. But you choose one bus to get on, and you chose the bus to come to Canada. So basically, you already on this bus heading north, true north to Canada. So when you get on this bus, don't think about, oh, what if I get on that bus, go to the east? What if I get on that bus, go to Australia, go to the south, right? What if I get that bus, get to the west, go to US? Don't even need to think about it, because you wanted to enjoy the journey. You want to enjoy all the sceneries this bus offer to you, because your body already here, your mind already here, right? So if you focus on make your journey the best, this true north journey the best, and you will feel so happy in Canada.
Yes.
You're not going to be thinking, oh, what if 5 years ago I didn't come here, or 10 years ago I didn't come here? Because that's never going to happen. You're already here.
True.
Right? So I never wasting time to thinking that way, always thinking going forward, because I'm get on this bus, I'm sticking on all the sceneries, I'm going to taking in all the beauties, all the good things on this bus, getting to know the people in this bus, right?
Yes, agreed.
So that's basically, if you're asking me, I think it's three things keep me my core, I can
Yeah,
say. It's my
that's
own
wonderful.
core.
Yes. And I think our listeners would appreciate those three and live by them as well if they would want to achieve the level of success that you have. Now, at age 60, what's your next project? Even if we've already talked about the vision to
Yeah.
reality, but perhaps
Yeah.
there's something more in store.
Yeah, there's so many more things I wanted to do for the third act. You can say your life, the first act, the first 30, second 30, your second act. Now it's the third act in a play, in a life play.
Yes.
And this third act, I truly wanted to develop this foundation to leave a legacy, because I feel that this foundation can impact the people around the world, because we're 100% online foundation. So anybody in any country, any corner, if they have internet, they can join. Much bigger impact than my accounting business, because we only can impact a few hundred. So this is one of the things that it's myself is not that important. So after a couple of years, I probably just behind the scene. I like the young people. I'm training them, want them to be the leaders for this organization. So, and also I wanted to write a book. I'm just writing a few stories about my life. Eventually I'm going to publishing a book and do some public speakings to share more positive, like a environment or positive message to different people. Of course, on my bucket list, I have many places in the world I love to travel, because travel and reading, I can say, is two of my top habit or personal love, like a recreation things. I can read all the time. I can travel all over the world. So I was quite lucky. My husband and I, and also my son, we all love travel. So we had been many places, but still the world is still quite big for us. Still many places that we haven't been on my bucket list. That I don't think I can be everywhere, even until the last day of my life. But still, I'm going to try, right?
For sure. And you have a very beautiful story to share. And I foresee your book to become a bestseller.
Thank you.
Yes. For the young people and immigrants who aspire to succeed in Canada, what message would you like to share with them?
I can say if I'm thinking myself is in my 20s, come to a new country. And now the whole economic environment, the society, I mean, the cities, everything is changed. So don't need to follow what I did 30 years ago, because that's not the same as today.
Yes.
And today, I just, since I started this foundation, I just realized, gosh, in Canada, there's like so many organizations, so many government bodies, they offer support, help, free services, free courses, free trainings. And I couldn't even believe how many is there, because I know nothing when I came to Canada at the time. Probably there are few organizations already have those services. I just never knew, because nobody ever told me. And I never know where to find the help. But nowadays, and from my organization, we already set up like, I think maybe 13, 14 partners with all those organizations, because we know what they offer. We know what they do. One organization offer free 10 weeks of business start course, and to teach you how to write a full business plan and the presentation. Another organization offer how you write business loans, right? Loan applications. And another organization offer you how to do digital marketing. And I'm just thinking, how come there's so many free services from government? And so anybody immigrate to Canada, you will have the resource with completely overwhelming you. And you just need to find the right one fits your need. And then you get those help, get those mentorship, get to know the local people. I truly believe that you guys, if you come here today and you're going to start, from 10th floor. I was in the 0th floor before. So you should pay less price compared with the people came a long time ago. And I feel so there's so many opportunities today. If anybody wanted to move to Canada, especially Canada is so welcome, immigrate, welcome, all the people move here to contribute to this country.
Yeah.
So learning from other cultures, learning from everybody else, it's one of the things I believe will make you, stay here much happier, and also find your place earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that very wise advice. Just open your eyes and take the opportunities that you can get, right? Winnie, before we end, I would like to give this opportunity to you to let everybody know, how can they become a member of Vision to Reality? How can they find V2RF?
If they just log online, just www.v2rf.org, they can click that button says join, our community. And V2RF is a V and then number 2, that 2, and
Yes.
R it's Roger, and F it's Frank. So Vision to Reality Foundation. It's quite easy to find, v2if.org. So,
Yes.
so
Perfect.
everybody can find them. Yeah. And or they can contact you. They can download
For sure.
your podcast and then
Yes.
just contact Cherry to say, can I, contact Winnie directly? I'm
Yes.
welcome everybody contact me directly,
Yes.
on LinkedIn or other social media. If you guys wanted to, I'm totally here to help you.
That's great. We need more people like you. And you are so inspiring and you are so helpful and so kind, right? So thank you so much, Winnie. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share your story with us and for sharing with us wise words that could help us achieve success.
For any newcomers, I only want to share one sentence.
Yes.
It's remember you have more advantage than disadvantage when you move to a new city. So bring all your advantage here.
True.
Be confident.
Yes.
Thank you.
Be confident. Thank you so much. I'm your host, Chari Hinari Elon, and with my guest is Winnie Hsu. Till next time.